Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Okay, we are jumping right into a step-by-step tutorial on unlocking some truly advanced AI capabilities by connecting your models to local environments and real-time data. We hear a ton about AI these days, but how do you actually give your AI the hands it needs to do real, functional work right on your computer? Well, today we're going to walk through exactly how to install and configure local MCP servers to absolutely supercharge your AI.
So, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with what are MCP servers, jump into local setup and configuration, move on to automating website performance fixes, and finally, learning new programming languages. We're going to test drive two specific superpowers, automating Chrome DevTools and writing code in brand new languages using the Context 7 server.
All right, part one. What are MCP servers? Let's demystify the AI stack. Because before we can configure anything, we really need to know exactly what we're plugging in, right?
Now, a lot of people get confused right here. An agent skill is essentially just an informational manual for your AI. It's not an executable program. It's usually just a simple markdown file that you feed into an AI harness like Claude Code. It basically just tells the AI things like, hey, here are our internal coding practices, or always name your variables this way. It's purely informational text.
But an MCP server, now that's entirely different. Unlike a basic markdown skill, an MCP server provides actual, executable tools to perform programmatic functions in real time. For example, if you install a Postgres MCP, it doesn't just explain to the AI how SQL works. It literally exposes a real execute query tool. So when the AI decides to call it, the MCP server physically executes that query right on your database. It's a real game changer.
Think of it this way. The AI model is the brain, and the AI harness is the body. Agent skills? Those are just the instruction manuals sitting on the desk. But MCP servers are the power tools. Your AI can read manuals all day long, but with MCP servers, it can actually pick up a drill and start building the whole shebang.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, Local Setup and Configuration, getting your tools ready. This is where we go from theory to execution and get these things running directly in your local directory.
To configure your local environment, locating your local configuration file is absolutely key. If you're using a harness like Claude Code, you launch it, type the command MCP, and it'll literally spit out the file path to your local JSON config file. And you really want to find this, because this file is the control center for all of your AI's capabilities.
Saving those local NPX configurations is what fundamentally gives your AI its hands. When you open up that JSON file, you'll see a list of MCP servers. By adding a simple NPX command to this list, you are permanently linking a local execution environment to your AI. Once you save that file and type MCP again in your harness, boom, you'll see your new tools instantly connected and ready to be deployed.
Section 3. Automating Website Performance Fixes, the Chrome DevTools combo. Now, this first incredible use case is going to completely blow the minds of any web developers watching. We are taking real-time performance audits directly into your local browser.
Now, listen up, because this is absolutely crucial. The strict prerequisite here is navigating to the remote debugging URL locally. If you skip this, nothing works. You must spin up the server at port 9222. Once you see that verification message that the server is running at 127.0.0.1, port 9222, you're good to take the Chrome DevTools NPX path and drop it right into that local MCP configuration file we were just talking about.
Think about the sheer volume of data the AI can now access on its own. It's not just passively reading text anymore. It is autonomously opening Chrome tabs. It can literally browse your website, start performance trace timelines right in the developer tools, and pull complex lab metrics and live field data, all without any human intervention. No way, right? It's wild.
So check out this prompt. You can now hand off absolute control just by saying, I want my website to hit 100-page score. Keep fixing bugs and deploying online, and check and do not stop until you get the score. You're instructing the AI to endlessly loop, test, fix, and deploy. Because it has direct programmatic access to Chrome DevTools via that local MCP server, it runs the audit, sees the failing metrics, writes the fix, checks the new audit, and repeats. It is exactly like having a tireless senior performance engineer working for you 24/7.
All right, Section 4. Learning new programming languages, the bleeding edge. Let's tackle the dreaded LLM knowledge cutoff problem and unlock our second superpower.
So,
You might be wondering, how do we get past this massive hurdle for developers? AI models are trained on historical data, right? So how on earth do you get an AI to accurately write code in a framework like Vercel's newly released Zero language? A language that literally came out days ago, long after the AI model finished its training. If you ask a standard AI to do this, it'll just hallucinate and make up syntax.
Well, this is exactly where Context 7 comes in. Context 7 is another MCP server you can install right in your local configuration. And instead of making the AI blindly browse the web, which, let's be honest, wastes a massive amount of tokens and time, Context 7 specifically retrieves ultra-fresh, accurate documentation for new frameworks and injects it directly into the model's context window.
By simply telling the AI to use the Context 7 MCP in your prompt, you can task it to build a fully functional project in a brand new language. The AI first reaches out through Context 7, studies the fresh documentation for Vercel's Zero language behind the scenes, learns the syntax perfectly on the fly, and then executes the folder creation and coding right on your local machine. It's incredibly seamless.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought on the absolute power you've just unlocked. By taking just a few minutes to install and configure local MCP servers, you've completely transformed your AI from a smart chatbot into an autonomous engineer. It can analyze peer-reviewed research with consensus, monitor memory leaks with Chrome DevTools, and learn bleeding-edge frameworks overnight with Context 7. The tools are installed, the environment is configured. So, what will your AI build for you today?